Today we're talking to Eileen Winnick. Eileen is founder of the Winnick Group, a communications consulting company, and she coaches best-selling authors, Nobel Prize winners, Olympic athletes, celebrities, and individual authors for TV and video. Her client list reads like a who's who of today's publishing, media, and business worlds. The New York Times, Condé Nast, Miramax, Paramount, HarperCollins, Oxford University Press, to name just a few. Her clients appear on Oprah, The Today Show, The Daily Show, The Colbert Report, Good Morning America, Charlie Rose, Bloomberg, CNN, Fox, C-SPAN, HSN, and QVC, and so many more. It's my pleasure to introduce Eileen Winnick. Eileen, thanks so much for coming today.
It's my pleasure.
So I want to talk a bit about your communications company and also, in fact, about this series, because Eileen has been the director of this series. We know that today writers need video.
Yes.
And in fact, anyone who wants a presence in this digital world needs video. But tell us about how you first got into consulting, first of all.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, to start at the very beginning, how much time do we have?
As much as we need.
To start at the beginning, I graduated and was an English teacher in an inner city school. And in that experience, I learned that I had to really control the room, because otherwise, they would break the windows and, steal everything out of my desk. It was a challenging job, and I was all of, 22 at the time. So I learned how to get kids' attention and at the same time control the room. And then I also at that time was studying acting, and really what I wanted to be was an actress. So after 5 years of teaching, actually at Bassick High School in Bridgeport, and then at Darien High School, which was the other side of the world, so to speak, I started going in and auditioning, and I became really an on-camera actor. I did a lot of commercials, worked on the soaps, I did tons of industrial films, and I figured out what it was like to be in the hot seat, with lights on, and you get your cues. I'd see a bunch of suits out there, and, and I'd have to deliver, 10 commercials for a Buick. Everyone in advertising has a say on what you're doing, because there's a lot of money behind a commercial. So everyone's going, not working. They're whispering in your ear and
she
sort
said
of going,
it's not
no.
working.
And so I learned how to deal with that kind of pressure. And they're going, so what happened was I would excuse myself. I'd go into the ladies' room and I'd do a silent scream. Or I'd do some relaxation exercises, and I'd come back out and we'd shoot it and it would be done. So having been on that side, when it came to, I was teaching in New York, film and TV acting, and I was asked to be a consultant for Random House and train people to do Oprah and these huge television shows, and I knew what they needed to learn. Right. So I started doing that, and I was still acting at the time, but I started segueing into this, this side, being on the other side of the camera.
Because people were asking you?
I love books. Most of my clients were authors. I love to get the books and read the books and figure out...
You're a big reader.
Yes. Figure out what the key messages were, how to position them, what to do to make them in a 5-minute interview or even a 3-minute interview, really get their point across.
Right. And do you find that authors generally don't know necessarily, even though they know their material, they don't necessarily know what the key points are that make up their message?
I would say that is the biggest challenge for authors.
I think so.
To really take an entire book and refine it to 3 key points is the most difficult part of our working together.
Yes, because it's really boiling everything down.
It's like, what? And authors are also very comfortable on the page. It's an isolated profession. They're used to being, they're writing and their words speak for themselves. When you are working on video or on television or even at a book signing, you are the personification of your book.
Yes.
So you're the brand.
Yes, and you haven't got much time to
make sure the right
things get across.
And so you have to be very calculating is a strong word, but you have to be very clear as to what you want to leave your audience with.
Okay.
What do you want your audience to think and feel and do as a result of your speaking?
And is coming to that clarity, I mean, some writers will have a video on their website, others might be doing radio interviews, or they might be doing TV. Is it the same process of boiling things down for each of those different places?
I would say no. I think what they have in common is that everyone has to think of how does this benefit my audience and skew everything to the audience. Who is my audience? You know, how do I present this so that those people go, yeah, I've got to go to her website.
Right.
I love this book idea.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley. So you're not necessarily in an interview or to camera speaking to the camera or speaking to an interviewer. You're really speaking to your audience.
Right.
So you want to shape and craft your message so that your audience understands why they should go and get your book.
Right. So this is the kind of thing that Random House and HarperCollins, all those big publishers used to contact you for their authors.
Yes, they did.
And so the relationship would be between you and the publisher as opposed to between you and the author. Is that the case?
Well, ultimately my relationship was with the author, but it was under the guidance of a PR person and usually the head of publicity at all the major houses. Now, you know, all of this has changed because of the way the world is today and how publishing has completely changed.
Meaning that they just haven't got the money to...
So there's a revolution going on where people have to really take on the responsibility of promoting their own books.
Right, yeah.
And one of the ways to do that is to create a video that captures people's attention, creates a platform for themselves, is a great branding item for them, and makes people aware of, you know, what they're doing.
So are you spending more time doing videos for authors about the author themselves, or is it more for a particular book, one specific book at a time, like book trailers?
Right. Well, actually, I've done all three, interestingly enough. I still train authors. I recently trained Anita Hill for a book that she did. And you know, and when I say train, I mean, this is an incredibly articulate, brilliant woman. So it's more like a collaboration. It's a partnership with my clients. And I just got her ready to deal with all the different interviews. So I deal with people who are doing broadcast interviews. But I also have started to create videos for authors where they want people to understand what they're doing, but at the same time, what they're doing next.
Yes, right.
So that they might be talking about one book, but they've got a whole other book in the making.
Right.
So that's it's an ongoing thing, and authors almost have to become comfortable at creating a series of videos about themselves.
Right.
And posting those videos.
Right. And so what is there one particular thing, or are there a couple of things that authors should consider before they get ready to present themselves on video?
Absolutely. I think first of all, I think they have to realize that the medium is the message, and in this case, you are the medium. So you have to be representative of the market that you're targeting. You know, if you have to relate, if you're writing a book about kids, you know, and how to be a better parent. You know, you want to be that mom. You know, you want to represent that mom, unless you're coming on as a psychotherapist.
Right, right.
And then you have a more professional edge. But this is it. I mean, this is our package, and how we package ourselves is incredibly important, because that image is your brand.
Right.